Good morning, everybody. Yeah, it's Sunday morning and we are here. Oh, I got to get rid of the damned emojis. Hang on. So we're here. I don't know if anybody else is going to be here, but we're here. Got a ship that was downbound. I got two ships this morning. And I have a funny story about the second ship, but that's I'll tell that a little bit later. Um, just don't know where everybody is, but one can only imagine they got better things to do, which is okay. I always feel you gotta do what's in your best interest, or what you've got on your agenda. You gotta follow that. That's a good thing. But I try to be on here as scheduled or planned. I don't know about scheduled, but planned every day, 9 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time and 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And we'll see who shows. If anybody shows, if nobody shows, I get it. See, who is this that's coming down here? The ship is the K.E. Barker. It's the Interlake Steamship Company ship. It's a self-unloading bulk carrier headed downbound at Port Huron, and it's headed for Dearborn. So I would imagine it's either carrying calcite or coal, but I'm guessing calcite because Dearborn is part of the auto industry. Little Lama Laura is first. Yes, she is. Hey, Laura. Good morning. I hope you and David are doing okay. I know you were under the weather a little bit, and David was under the weather. Trying to get the glare off of the screen. That's a little better. Yeah, that's the K.E. Barker. Hey, Laura. Oh, Garth, how you doing, Garth? Good morning. Yeah, it's a little slow this morning, Sunday morning. But I also noticed too, when I went out and flew those couple of ships this morning, there wasn't a lot going on at the local churches either. So I don't know whether maybe they gone to summer hours. I don't know. Because I have a church that's just down the street from me. And when I went by, there was nobody in the parking lot. When I came back by, there was still nobody in the parking lot. So don't know what that meant. Let me just trim this up just a smidge. All right. So now that I got the mustache trimmed a little bit, Mark White, how you doing, Mark? Jonathan, how you doing? I hope well. I hope everybody's doing good this morning on this Sunday morning. As it's bright and sunny here.
Morning, Paul.
Good morning, Mark. How's it going?
Not too bad, thank you.
Good.
Nice sunny day today, but cold.
Oh, it's a little cold there, chilly. It's 50 degrees here. It's gonna go up to I think to maybe 65 or 70 today. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Still recovering from the hospital visit, but doing better. Um, I know the doctor's got me scheduled and I haven't called back, wants to schedule me for some more testing, but I'll get around to it.
You had to go to hospital again, or this is the last
I don't
ages
know.
ago.
They talked about possibly going to see a urologist or whatever, I don't know. I'm just going to put all that stuff off as long as I can because I'm not into poking and prodding and that kind of stuff.
No, but you want to make sure that it doesn't happen again, don't you?
Yep. Jonathan, you didn't maybe didn't know it, but I was in the hospital for what 4 or 5 days here a couple of weeks ago
Hi, Jonathan.
for a severe case of urinary tract infection. The bad stuff with it was going through my whole system, was screwing up my brain and screwing up everything, and they came and took me by ambulance, and so I spent like 4 or 5 days up there while they were treating me.
Did the police ever give you your bits and pieces they took back?
No, I didn't. They didn't. I'm going to call them here next week because it had been, I think, 30 days. So they don't like to give stuff back. They like to take it, but give things back.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jonathan, that's the visit we're talking about. And for every day you spend in a hospital, it takes you 3 to 5 days to get feeling halfway decent again. So that's about it's almost been a month. Justin, good morning.
Morning, Justin. Yeah, I know you feel. I mean, I went in with what I thought was just going to be a nice quick visit to the accident and emergency, and ended up staying in hospital for 8 weeks.
Yeah, they sure don't like to let you out. But Well, I got one more pill to take this morning of my prescription that my doctor gave me. You just reminded me. And then I don't have any more, so. I go back and see the doctor again. Let me see here. I go back and see the doctor on Friday the 3rd of May.
Being a softie.
So anyway, yes, Jonathan, I hear you. So Justin, are you awake?
Yeah.
How late did your stream go last night?
It was like 12.
That was
Wasn't
good.
It wasn't super late.
I went over and looked and I saw you guys playing your games. I just figure if you guys enjoy that, go for it, you know?
Yeah, we were having fun.
Yeah, I didn't join. I went to bed after art finished at 3.
Your pupper dog's talking to you. What's he looking for breakfast?
Now she just wants fussing. She's already ate breakfast. She stands pressed against me and I have to stroke her. And when I stop stroking, she barks.
I don't know if you can see the chat or not, Justin, but Jonathan said hi to you.
Oh yeah, give me 2 seconds here.
Whee.
Laura came and said she'd be back.
Oh shit, did I fucking... Oh, there it is. Okay. I was trying to find the chat. What's up, Jonathan? Joel? Laura, how's it going?
See, Joel.
I would have joined you, but she's saying she would join Paul, but she's at her mom's. I'm at my mom's.
Now, do they have to travel to go to her mom's house, or is it close? I don't know.
It's not that far, I don't think, to her mum's.
I went and did a couple of ships this morning, and I had a problem again with the second ship, but that's all right.
Precious just shot off across the garden to chase a pigeon.
Oh. Hang on, I gotta go close the door. Mia came in and she doesn't close the door behind her.
Oh no, you're good, Jonathan. We actually had a good handful of people stop in.
Little bit of fishing going on out there. There hasn't been a lot of it going on, but somebody said that the coho salmon are starting to run, but I haven't noticed anybody hauling any in.
They're going upstream to mate or something, or to,
The
Yeah,
spawn.
yeah.
Yeah.
they spawn, yep.
It's crazy how those things will go up a actual stream too. They'll go backwards in it. They'll sit there and jump. It's like they'll go
Yep.
back upstream.
Yeah, they go back to where they were spawned,
Right.
Mr.
and it's
Sky.
usually right up at the start of a river or a stream where it's shallow, and a lot of them actually just die after they've spawned. Because to get up there is physically exhausting for them.
Joel said he's going to fly out his Air 3 later. Good luck with that. We hear anything else on Israel?
No, just the usual stuff that there was a lot more injuries that they reported today. None of them life threatening, but people on the ground that were hurt.
Yeah, I heard one lady got shrapnel.
Yep.
Well, I did read an article. It was about a report that they put out a statement saying they were going to retaliate. I don't know.
Oh, Skyfly got his Air 3 all charged up. Supposed to be a beautiful day, so I'll be flying it later. All right, good for you. You got the Air 3. I hope you enjoy. You're a goofball, Mia. You're a goofball. She goes over and starts rubbing on the furniture and stuff after she eats. Welcome back, Justin.
I don't know. Something's going on with my computer. I gotta figure out what the hell it's doing. It keeps turning off on me and for no reason. I'll just be sitting there and all of a sudden it'll just fucking shut off.
You gotta love electronics, don't you?
Yeah. I don't know what's causing it. Like I said, I'll just be sitting there and all of a sudden my computer just shuts off. And then it resets and turns back on. I'm gonna take it apart today and clean it really good. I'm gonna do that after I get off here.
Hey, Captain Joe,
What's up, Joe?
what are you up to? The Yeah, I went and got two ships this morning. The one just went fine. It was a downbound. It was a tug barge, and then I got the upbound was the Lee Tregurtha, and for some reason I'd shut the drone down after I did the other one. It didn't want to seem to fire up again, and I had to reset the controller and everything. So by the time I got it all ready to fly, the ship was already going by me up underneath the bridge. It was upbound. So I had to chase it down. And I was chasing it down out in the area where I lost the last one. And I'm praying, I says, please, Lord, let me get through this. And well, let me pull it up and I'll show you what happened.
Why did it start acting funny again?
Oh boy.
There must be something around that bridge that's
Okay, so here it is. I chased it out north of the bridge. Can you see that all right?
yeah.
Okay. Let me put it in motion. I chased it out north of the bridge and spun around to catch it, okay? As you can see, I'm up about a half a mile north of the bridge by now.
Right.
So I get it fine here. And if you remember the last time, it was about here that I ran into an issue, right?
Right.
Okay, now watch it. Right now I'm getting a signal back to me that the signal lost, signal good, clipping in and out on my controller. And so therefore I can't control it, the camera that well because I can't see it. So now the camera's back and I can see it. So during that whole period of there, to there when I regained control.
uh,
Because see, I'm way down here on the other side of those bridge abutments, and that might be it.
I don't know, yeah. I mean, it could be a whole bunch of different things. That's not good.
But my heart was palpitating. I thought, oh no, you're not going to lose another one.
Was that with the new controller?
No, that's with the old one. But
I don't know.
boy, they got some really good video of the drones and everything falling down from the sky right now at Ramallah, West Bank.
They did say if it apparently Israel said they were gonna retaliate, so I don't know, we'll have to see. At least that's what I heard a little bit last of when I went to bed last night. Oh, man. I'm stuffy this morning.
What's that?
I'm all stuffed up this morning.
Now, do you get like seasonal stuffiness in your head, or
Yeah, I get allergies sometimes.
because I notice the older I get, the more I get a little stuffy. You got to blow my nose or sneeze or whatever, and I don't remember having those issues to the extent that I do now when I was younger. So
I never had allergy problems, and then until about a couple of years ago, I started getting allergies. My eyes would be watering and sneezing a lot. Oh, man.
that could be, Joe. It's just that pisses me off. I wish the new controller I have had better brightness. Even with the shield, it isn't very bright. Well, also I noticed too is when I started to have the signal issues, not only was the bridge abutments in my way, but the ship was between me and the controller. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't up above it.
Yeah, but you were still pretty close to where you were at, though. I mean, there's
Oh yeah, I
something,
was in like 2-3 miles.
not even, you weren't even that far. You were about half a mile from where you were at, right?
No, I was a good mile and a half. But I noticed the old controller acting a little wonky. I'm gonna try acclimating myself back to the gray one. Like there's periods of times, like today, when the reason I was having troubles, it came up and says DJI Fly is not working. Cancel.
It was Joe's breakfast.
Oh, where's that at?
That's Joe's breakfast he sent to me.
Wow. Captain Joe does it right. I had a breakfast bowl. Don't get me wrong, it was good, but not like I haven't had a regular regular breakfast in a long time. You know, it usually consists of some kind of a breakfast wrap or whatever that I get from drive-throughs or the breakfast bowls that I throw in the microwave. Joe says he's stuffed. How are your pupper dogs doing anyway, Justin? Good?
Yeah.
They still wrestle and play a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Now, does Bo pretty much watch out for Tyson?
Oh, yeah. That's why, he's not allowed to, Tyson's not allowed to go outside unless Bo's out there with him. I don't need some fucking bird or something trying to swoop down and fuck with Tyson, so. Bo back there with him, he's, at least Bo's back there if a bigger animal comes back there trying to mess with him. Bo ain't gonna let nothing happen to Tyson.
That's good. So they have a bond then.
Oh, yeah.
How's your daughter's driving lessons going? Is your wife doing a good job teaching her to drive?
I haven't took her the last couple weeks, so I need to take her again. These last couple weekends, they've been busy doing stuff, so I haven't had time to take her.
Ah. Now, when can she get her license?
She can get it at 16, but I'd like to send her to driving school, but this shit's expensive. It's like $800 for that.
Oh, wow. See, when
Not
I
cheap.
when I was in school, this is many years ago, they used to have driver's education as part of the high school. If you were the right age, you just signed up for it. It didn't cost you anything.
Yeah, a lot of schools used to have it. They don't no more though.
Yep. They had an instructor there and they take you out in the cars and oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of schools don't do it anymore. Driving schools are little rackets though, man. They make some money. Yeah, I think they take 2 or 3 kids out at one time.
Yeah,
So,
that's what we did too. We had two in the back seat and one driving with the instructor up in the front.
right.
What's that at the school itself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I went, it was at high school.
I'm sure there's still some schools that do it, but a lot of schools have stopped doing it. They used to do the driving ed.
Mm.
I'm sure there's still some schools out there that do it, but
Well, yeah, I can see, you said it's about $800 to take driver's ed if you're paying for it. And I can see that, the price of the car, the insurance, the fuel, the instructor,
right,
I
that's
don't
why
think,
they take 2 or 3 kids out at a time to make it worth them.
yep.
Well, they only teach people individually in the UK. They don't do it at school. Mainly because you can't drive until most people have actually left school. So
What's the legal age of driving in the UK?
17.
17, okay.
It's 16 here. I think some places you can do it at 15.
Well, Kansas,
You can ride a moped at 16, but you can't drive a car or a motorbike until you're 17.
I know that the state of Kansas allows 14-year-olds to drive. only
Yeah,
to go to work, go to school, or special events. They just can't go randomly driving around.
No, they can't drive at night either, can they?
no, if you got a learner's permit, normally you can't drive at night. And you can't have people under the age 18 in the car with you. And I think there's certain restrictions. Yeah, every state's a little different, but
Yeah,
yeah, you're heavily restricted when you got a learner's permit.
Well, you're not allowed to drive without somebody with a full license when you've got a learner's permit. You can still drive at night, but you can't drive without somebody who's got a full license with you.
Right.
And I think driving lessons are about something like £40 for half an hour. And I think normally you'll need about 12 or 15 lessons before you can even attempt to take your actual test.
There are some schools that you have to maintain a certain GPA if you keep your license or if you're working. Like if you got a job after school, if you're not keeping up with your schoolwork, they can force the company to fire you pretty much, let you go. Because they want you to be able to, if you can't be responsible at school, they don't want you having a job.
Yeah, because you're not concentrating on your schoolwork. Yeah.
Right. You have to it's not, I mean, it's not a ridiculous uh number they want you to maintain, but they definitely want you to have like a C average, you know, at least they don't want you dropping down and getting a bunch of D's and F's. It's like a 2 point something you have to maintain, which is kind of that's kind of a not really high GPA, but it's
Yeah, they
middle.
don't work on that system here.
If you got a really good GPA, you got like a 4.0. That's usually a straight A student. Somebody that's a teacher's pet type student. They're the ones that graduate like valedictorian and all that.
I mean, you do exams at the end of each year here, but it doesn't really affect what happens to you. You still go up into the next year, and it's only the exams at the end of your final year that actually matter for anything.
I don't know. Here they redid the state testing because I don't know. Florida found something like they did a bunch of research on it and found that it really didn't. That doesn't really make the student. So they kind of, I think they lessen the amount that they do the testing at the end of the year.
Yeah.
They
I think
don't do.
they were talking, I don't know whether they did it, but they were talking about doing continual assessment through the year. Because, I mean, some students are good at learning things, they're just not good at doing exams. And other students are good at doing exams, but don't show any real interest during the year. They just cram it all in at the end.
Yeah, our schools have like vastly improved here in the last 5 years. We went from like number 30 or 40th in the country to number I think 3 now. We actually got some of the best schools now in the country because they redid the whole school system in Florida. They started doing the voucher program, which means that kids can choose where they want to go to school instead of being forced to go to a specific school.
Yeah.
So, which helps a lot.
Yeah, once you reach the age of 11 and go from primary into secondary education, you can usually choose which school you want to go to
Plus, if you go into a lot of the
within
schools,
within a set area.
yeah, if you go to the schools here and you go into them, they've gotten a lot of funding. Like they got a lot of tech in their classrooms now. A lot.
Mm. I mean, most kids, until they actually go to university, don't go out of their own area.
Yeah, and it's more expensive if you go out of state, go to college.
Mm.
So if you're like an in-state student, somebody that lives in that state, you might say you pay 10,000 a semester, right? But if you're from out of state, that could jump up to $25,000 a semester. If you come from out of state.
It doesn't cost anything until you actually go to university. It costs nothing, and then when you go to university, I mean, when I was there, they give you a grant. They actually give you money for going to university.
You can file
But
for grants here, but
yeah,
you have to qualify for them.
but they don't. I mean, foreign students, I think they have to pay for the university courses, but UK students don't pay to go to university. They
They,
they come up with something like a student loan now, where they lend you money to get through university, and then you have to pay it back once you start earning over a certain amount per year after you've finished.
yeah, we have student loans here too. The government's got like over $1 trillion in student loans that they've loaned out to students.
And I
The
see where
problem,
Biden wants to forgive all that.
but the problem with our student, the problem with our universities is they've almost become a kind of a scam because a lot of these students are taking courses and classes and getting degrees that don't get them anywhere. And then they run up, a $6,800,000 debt. They get
Yeah,
out of school and guess what? They end up working
they
a
can't
job that
find. Yeah,
no, well,
McDonald's. Yeah,
no, they end up working a job that didn't need a degree in the first place.
yeah, yeah,
And it's like they went out and spent all that money. Like people will go out and waste money on like art degrees and crap like that. And the thing is like businesses back in the day, they would hire you just for having a degree, even if it wasn't in that field that you were trying to get a job at, just because they looked at it as, oh, you went to school. These
yeah.
days, companies want specific degrees
Mm,
for certain jobs. They don't give a shit if you have a 4-year master's in art. If they want somebody that has got a degree in accounting, they want
yeah,
somebody that's got a degree in accounting. They don't give a shit about your art degree. That's the
yeah,
problem is kids are going to school for a lot of stupid ass degrees.
yeah. Getting an art doesn't mean you can add up. Yeah,
And then colleges make you take a lot of courses that have nothing to do with what you're going to school for. You'll take psychology when you're trying to get an accounting degree. Why are you taking psychology? That has nothing to do with accounting.
yeah,
They make you take a bunch of courses that have nothing to do with what you're actually going to school for. So you spend more money on courses, books. Yeah, it's kind of bullshit these days, to be honest with you. You're better off
yeah.
going to a trade school.
I mean, when I finished doing all my O levels and I did my I did A levels in just four subjects: maths, physics, chemistry, and what they called general studies, which was a mixture of like media and general knowledge kind of thing. And then, like, when you get the university place and you go there, you do a set subject. Like I did civil engineering, so everything I did there was part of a civil engineering degree. So it was soil mechanics, structural engineering, highways, traffic, stuff like that. You didn't do anything that wasn't actually related to what you were doing.
And Randy, that's not even the case. If you look at the numbers of universities, 49% of kids that graduate end up getting a job that they didn't even need a degree for, but they're not even making 6 figures a year. A lot of them will be making 40, 50, 70, 60,000 somewhere in there. And then they end up spending a third of that every year trying to pay off their damn student loans.
Mm,
And then they're right back to somebody that didn't even go to college is making the same amount as them.
mm,
But like you're better off going to a trade school and learning how to be a crane operator or something like that, right? Like that's where you're gonna actually make a lot of money.
mm.
You can go to school and become, a crane operator, go to school for construction work, stuff like that, electrician, HVAC.
Plumber.
Yeah, go look
Plumbers
up
make shitloads of money.
Randy, go to Charlie Kirk's channel on YouTube and watch his videos on the college. And he has the debates at the college with the students over how they're getting scammed. And it's really interesting though. He pulls all the raw numbers out and tells you about everything. It's really interesting. But he has debates with the college kids over it. There, I'll pull up his channel if you don't know who he is. Here, I'll just put this in the chat. But yeah, watch his videos when he goes to the colleges and does the debates. And he didn't even go to college, and he makes over 6 figures a year.
Mm.
And he actually does not require anybody have a degree to work for his company. He thinks that he looks at your experience and just you as a person when he hires you. He doesn't look at what kind of degree you went and got at college because he doesn't think that makes a person good at a job. And I'd have to agree with him on that.
Over here, it's extremely rare for anybody to make 6 figures a year. You have to be right up at the top of a company to get that.
There's a good portion of the population over here that makes 6 figures. But you can go be a store manager. You can work your way up to be a store manager at Walmart and make 150,000 a year with bonuses.
Yeah,
I
but
would
that's that you don't come right out of school and do that.
No,
a store manager at Walmart in the UK is not likely to be making much more than 50,000 a year.
I don't know. My store manager made in 1 year his bonus was 34,000, just his bonus. And then they make on average 80 to 100,000 depending on how long they've been with the company. But you can work your way up to store manager. You don't have to have a degree to become a store manager. You don't have to have a degree to become a district manager.
Mm,
It's just you work your way up and you apply
yeah.
for the positions within the company and they interview you and they pretty much go by the interview they do with you. That's it.
Mm.
They don't require you have like a business degree or anything. Does it help? I'm sure it does a little bit, but I knew plenty of people that got store manager positions that didn't have a degree or went to college.
Yeah, I mean, my mum's brother, he started off working for Walls as an ice cream man. And by the time he retired, Walls were part of Lever Brothers, and he'd worked his way up to being area manager, and his area was Europe.
Oh yeah, district managers, man, they can make close to, $500,000 a year because they're over like 10 or 12 stores, Walmart stores at one time. Each one of those stores can pull in, 100 million to 50 million a year.
Yeah, when your district actually includes like 20 countries.
Yeah. Over here they go to store manager, district manager, then they go regional manager, which will be over like, that the regional managers, they're the ones that are over like 3 or 4 states.
Yeah.
And then then you get into the corporate office. That's when you start getting up into the corporate office.
Mm,
And then there's a CEO for Walmart in each country that they have stores at. So there's
yeah.
one just for Canada, and there's one for the UK. If they have Walmarts there, there's one for
Yeah,
China, and then
our Asda got taken over by Walmart, so they're classed as both now.
somebody was saying from the UK, we were talking about this months and months ago, said that they sold it, but then they own the majority stock in it.
Yeah,
Still though,
something like that.
I think
But
they
it
own like
still has
41%.
Walmart written on the store sign as well as Asda.
Yeah, 'cause I think they own like 52% of the stock or something like that. The
Mm,
majority
yeah,
control of it.
because Asda was just short for Associated Dairies originally.
And it's a big company. A lot of money.
Mm,
Target fucking, oh my God, dude, Target. So Walmart pretty much has all of Canada, right? They pretty much have that on lockdown. And Target went up there, what was it, about 7 or 8 years ago, 10 years ago, and they opened like 200 stores or something up there trying to compete with Walmart. And then within like I think a year or 2 years, they ended up shutting them all down. And they ended up losing like $9 billion from that little venture. Target did.
don't remember whether we've had a Target. I certainly don't know of any around here.
And I believe Target, isn't Target a French company?
Oh, I
Almost
don't know.
positive they are. Because I remember back during the Afghan-Iraq war when that kicked off, a bunch of companies were donating money to military families and stuff. And I remember Target said they didn't believe in that, and then Target got a bunch of heat from, the American public over it at the time. Everybody
Mm,
was pissed off at Target for a little while there because they came out and kind of said some negative things about military members, and it kind of pissed off most of the general public. But I can't remember exactly what they said, but
I guess if Target are French, it makes sense for them to get into Canada, where there is a lot of French, isn't it?
yeah, I'm pretty sure they're a French company. I could be wrong though. I don't think they're American.
Echo, who owns Target?
Target is a publicly traded company owned by many individual shareholders and other large investment companies. Target's current CEO is Brian Cornell.
Well, it's not a French name, but it didn't say whether they
Well,
were a company or not.
ask it where their
Headquarters.
yeah.
Headquarters. Echo, where is Target's headquarters?
I found a headquarters. Headquarters is 9.5 miles away on Michael Walk in Rochdale. It is currently closed, but will be open tomorrow from 9 a.m.
Said it
to
was in
5.
the UK.
It's got absolutely nothing to do with the question I asked. Echo, where are the headquarters of the company Target?
Target Corporation's headquarters are in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah,
Where?
Minnesota,
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
I could have swore they were a foreign company. I mean, it's possible they probably could have got
They've
bought
got
out at some
foreign
point. I don't know.
investors, but I think they're still an American company.
Oh, it's possible they could have got bought by an American company at some point too.
Possible.
Shit, Jeep, one of our biggest American car companies isn't even owned by American car company anymore. It's owned by Kia now. Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. It's
Yep.
owned by Kia, and Kia's not an American company.
No, Kia is. Are they Malaysian or somewhat? Can't remember now.
I don't remember what country they're from.
Hmm. Echo, where is the car company Kia based?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, Kia Corporation, commonly known as Kia, is a South Korean multinational automobile manufacturer
South
headquartered in
Korea.
South Korea.
South Korea.
Yeah, because actually Japan's the biggest auto exporter now.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because they got a lot of dealerships in the US, Toyota does.
Well, you've got Toyota, Datsun, Honda.
Datsun.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had Datsuns here in Fox since
Nissan.
maybe early
Datsun,
90s.
Datsun became Nissan.
I remember the old Datsun trucks back in the day.
Yeah. Well, they just changed the name to Nissan, that's all.
Yes, they did. Nissan.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, it is a. Okay, Target is a US company. I could have swore they were a foreign one, but I guess they are. They were started in Minneapolis, Minnesota in 1902. Maybe I'm thinking of a different company.
So they've always been there.
Yeah. Maybe I'm thinking of a different company.
In fact, Suzuki now make cars as well. Because you've got a lot of the massive motorcycle companies, Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, Kawasaki. They're all Japanese, and Suzuki went into the car market as well. And Honda are in the car market.
Which is funny because Yamaha, their bread and butter isn't even motorcycles. It's like
Musical
tuning, yeah,
instruments.
musical instruments. I mean,
Yeah.
literally their logo is two tuning forks.
Yeah. Three tuning
Yeah.
forks. Yeah. My bike's a Yamaha.
That's all I drove when I had dirt bikes back in the day. My 125 and my 250 I had were both Yamahas.
Mm,
They're good bikes, man.
they are.
Yamahas and Hondas are really good bikes.
Mm,
Those two were always the ones that a lot of me and my friends had hardly any problems with those bikes, man. Those bikes would run forever. Hardly
yeah.
any issues.
Mm-hmm.
I had my 250 probably for a good 5, 6 years, rode it almost every day. And I don't think I ever had an issue with that bike except for just changing the tires every, 6, 8 months. I'd have to put new tires on it. But
That's a lot of use on a tire.
oh, dude,
Time.
I rode the shit out of my dirt bikes back in the day. Like it was a daily thing. Every day after school, me and my friends would get on our dirt bikes and go for rides. During the summertime, oh, it was all day, every day. We were on those things.
Mm.
We'd get up at like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and load up. There'd be like 10 of us, and we'd go up in the mountains and go riding all day long.
Mm.
Usually one of my friends would have their four-wheelers with a small little tiny trailer on the back, and we'd have all our supplies in there, like extra gas and tools and whatever else we might need. And we'd go trail riding up in the mountains.
Did you have to change many punctures?
Oh yeah, we had plug kits and all that. Yeah, there was times where I had 10 plugs in one tire. Yeah. That was totally normal. Yeah, we usually had like a 10-gallon air compressor filled up that we'd take with us. There was just a tank. It didn't have no, we'd fill it up from another air compressor,
Yeah.
it was just a tank. We'd carry that
Mm.
with us and the plug kits and all that stuff. We needed it. Yeah, because we'd go out riding and we wouldn't come back till we'd be out for a
What
good
was
10,
it?
12 hours at a time sometimes.
Tubeless tires.
I never had any on my dirt bikes, so.
They say the majority of motorbikes have inner tubes in.
Looks like Randy wants to get a ZX10 Kawasaki. Said he's
Nice.
getting one. I
Mm.
was never into street bikes. I was always dirt bikes because where I lived at, Southern California, was nothing but desert. So
Well,
yeah,
that's 1,000cc, the ZX10.
a lot of people that rode at least in my area, a lot of people had enduros, which were street legal dirt bikes. They would have the headlights and the turn signals and all that on them. But at any time, you could just boom right off the road and go down a trail if you wanted. That was what my
Mm.
250. My 250 was an enduro.
Yeah,
Like
enduros and adventure bikes they call them now, don't they?
yeah, and I didn't. Mine wasn't registered to be on the road because I was young at the time. But it was great at nighttime because you had a headlight and all that. If you were out, if you ended up getting back late or something, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And the cops were like out where I lived at. I mean, I was out in the middle of nowhere in the desert where your nearest neighbor was a half mile away. So
Mm.
the cops were far and few in between out there. So you didn't really have to worry about going down a road to cut through somewhere.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't catch you anyway if
Mm.
if they did throw their lights on and you decided to go down some trail or just cut through the desert somewhere. They weren't going to
Mm.
catch you. Not
Yeah.
like they had helicopters up in the air all the time out there. Yeah, I was never really into street bikes, so I never got into those. I don't really
Uh,
know a lot about those.
well, the only amateur that got through the cut in the Masters is on 11 over par now. And Tiger Woods is on 11 over par. And they've been paired together in the final round. What a way to have to play your last game of golf at the Masters with Tiger Woods, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, at this point, he's just playing for fun because, like, he don't need the fucking money.
Yeah. Well, no, he's still trying to go for it. He wants that sixth Masters to equal Nicklaus's record.
Oh, he's trying to tie his record with somebody?
Yeah, Jack Nicklaus has won it 6 times and Tiger's won it 5 times.
Okay. I'm assuming 6 times is like the top record for that.
For the Masters, that's the highest, yeah.
Okay.
I think the next one below them is only like 3.
I had a 1987 Harley for about a month before it was stolen. Oh, we used to get the Harley runs that would come right through the town I lived in. Actually, one of the bars was one of their pit stops when they would do the big Harley run every year. So yeah, you get thousands of
What
bikes.
town was that?
Newberry Springs, California. It was the barn was the name of the bar. It's called the Barn, and that was one of their pit stops because they actually have a map that they follow, like a specific route that they take, and they have different bars that they stop along the way and restaurants and stuff like that. That's their pit stops that they stop at. And the barn in our town was one of the places they always stopped. So there was always, I mean, it was a small little bar, but there'd be like 200 bikes at a time parked out of this place. Like that place would stay busy, and it was just a little bar out in the middle of nowhere. And then sometimes they would stop at there was a VA, or not a VA, American Legion,
Yeah.
about another mile down the road from us, and they'd get quite a few of them going in there too. You get a lot of the veteran riders who stop in there. Big clubs with all the veterans and stuff. Yeah, they'd stop in at the VA or at the American Legion.
Well, Art was celebrating his 5th anniversary of his channel last night, and Ken Heron came on the panel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he'd been out riding his bike all day. He's got a 19-year-old Kawasaki ZXR 900 Ninja.
It's kind of funny because he was bashing the hell out of Ken Heron not even a month ago, and Ken what was it, a month and a half ago, and Ken was doing all that shit.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
that video and pissed everybody off. And then
Yeah.
Art started going live when he was going live. Guess Ken don't pay attention to his channel, otherwise he'd have known that.
Now, he was saying, Kenny, the town he lives in is a dry town. There are no bars.
Yeah, you get
There's
some towns
one-
and counties like that.
One liquor store, no bowling alley.
Yeah, you get cities and town or some towns and counties are considered dry. So people will have to drive into another county to get alcohol. Like you can have it there, you just can't buy it there. But you can take it home and drink it legally. You just can't buy it. You can
Yeah,
still
like-
buy it there.
A liquor store you can buy it from, but nowhere to actually go and drink out.
Yeah. Well, there's some counties that they don't have any liquor stores or anything. They don't have nothing. They don't sell anything. They're completely dry. So you have to drive into another county to get it. You'd have to make like, probably depending on how far you are from the county line. It could be a 10-minute drive or it could be an hour drive. And on what part of the county you live in.
He was showing his dog's just had one of its eyes taken out as well.
And in some states the liquor's all state ran and all the liquor stores are state approved liquor stores that are ran by the state.
Yeah.
And then there's places like there's other states you can walk into a grocery store or a gas station and buy liquor. Just depends
That's
on
all sort of come down from prohibition and stuck, hasn't it? I suppose.
all that, and it's all some of it stems from old religious areas that might have been really religious back in the day, and they had certain laws set in place, and they've just been there on the
Well,
books. And
but
never
he's
changed.
in Tennessee. Isn't Tennessee one of the states that was rife for booze running and stills and things?
I'm not entirely sure. Probably. There's a lot of the mountainous areas is where they had a lot of the illegal steals and stuff like that, where they would make alcohol. I'm sure Tennessee probably was.
Mm.
You just watch that show on History Channel. What the hell is it called? Moonshiners or whatever.
Mm.
They actually have a show about that,
Mm.
which I think is kind of staged because the crew goes around and looks at these people's quote unquote illegal operations that they're doing, but they're fucking filming it and shit. And I'm like, dude, I don't
Yeah,
see it.
if they were illegal operations, there's no way they'd let him anywhere near it.
Yeah. Well, and it wouldn't be filming it as like a TV show neither. And yeah, I just don't think it's. I think these people that actually do the alcohol and they know what they're doing, but I think 90% of it's staged.
Mm.
It doesn't make sense though, right? You can, in almost all states, you can make your own brewery. You can have your own brewery in your backyard and brew all the beer you want, and it's not. You don't have to pay nothing on it. You can just brew it, sell it, drink it, whatever you want to do, and you're fine. But the minute you make a drop of liquor, oh, now it's a big fucking problem. And I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, there's so many different homebrew things where you can do beers and wines now.
and there's only a handful of states where you can actually make liquor legally. And that's a very small amount. We looked it up not too long ago. I want to say it was like maybe 5 states or something where you can legally make liquor without getting in trouble.
Yeah, there's a bar just down the road from me in our town centre, and they've just bought a restaurant that had closed down during COVID, and they're turning that into another type of bar with a microbrewery in it. Looking forward to that opening and see what they do, because they do stock some really good beers, mostly in bottles rather than on draft, but they have got some good stuff in the bar that they've got at the moment.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of microbreweries around the US. There was a guy when I was like 16 in California, he used to make beer in his backyard, and he would actually rent kegs out. And he'd make kegs of beer and run them out. And I think we actually used to get beer from him back when we were underage. He actually would sell it to us. But he had quite the little brewery behind his house though, in his backyard. It was pretty big. I mean, he could make a couple kegs a week out of there.
Mm.
We used to pay him, I think it was like $100 a keg, and then it was like we got 20 of it back, I think, when we returned the keg, because it was like what's part of it was a deposit. So we'd
Mm.
return it. But we always brought it back to him.
How many your pints are different than ours, aren't they?
I don't remember how big the
I
keg
think
was. That's so
are
many
your
years ago.
are your pints only 16 fluid ounces,
Uh,
where ours are 20.
think so.
Because you've still got 8 pints to a gallon, haven't you?
Yeah,
400.
2 to a
8
quart,
pint, 8
four
pints to a
quarts to a
gallon. Yeah,
gallon.
4 quarts. Yeah, but because your pint is only 16 fluid ounces rather than 20,
Yeah, it'd be 473
your
milliliters.
your gallon is only 5. I think it's 5/8 of our gallon or something like that.
What's up, Jody? Yeah, it's 473 milliliters.
Mm.
I'm not sure how much is in a keg, though. Honestly, I don't remember. It's been so long ago. I haven't bought in a keg in over 20 years. How much
They
is
have
actually?
different size ones.
Yeah, but they do have an average size one.
I mean, the ones that used to get delivered to the pub are like 3 feet tall.
See.
And I think there's something like 25 or 30 gallons in them.
So on average, there's about 165 12-ounce cans of beer per keg, which is 15.5 gallons.
Mm,
That's average, but like you said, there's different sizes, but they did say that that's the average keg size.
right.
So, because we only used to buy one keg, and of course you'd have tons of people there to bring liquor and beer, and you'd have enough alcohol for fucking 100 people.
Yeah.
We used to
So,
have pretty big parties back in the day, because like I said, we lived out in the middle of nowhere, and a lot of us had, there was quite a few people that had big lakes in their backyards that were dried out. So you would
mm,
go down and throw your party down in the lake, and it would help muffle the sound, and you
yeah.
wouldn't be able to see it from the road or anything.
Good
Mm,
morning, Frank, Jody.
Like behind my mom's house, we had 2 dry lakes, and they were about 25, 30 feet deep. Like they were really deep down in there. And one of them we had set up as a shooting range. And then the other one, we had a big, huge bonfire pit thing down in there and a bunch of seating and everything. And me and my sister used to throw parties down there all the time. We'd have like 50, 60 people down there in the middle of the
mm,
night just blaring music. But when you got up out of there and you walked, a couple hundred yards from it, you wouldn't be able to hear anything or see anything. You
yeah.
might see a light glow coming off the top of the lake from the fire, but that'd be about it.
East Coast Thrills said, I think, said it. These guys need to calm themselves down this morning. It's hashtag excited panel.
Oh, Dusty came on a
Yeah,
panel
but
the other night.
Dusty, it's 3:15 in the afternoon for me.
Yep.
Dusty was on my panel the other night. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, he did come on, didn't he? Yeah, you were
Yeah, and then we were saying how much you look like
ripping,
Tim.
ripping into him about being too short to go on the rides at theme parks.
Yeah. Then I put him, Tim, and Mike all together up at the top panel, and I was like, "Look at the progression."
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good sport.
Hmm. I didn't like the fact that you put it all in age, and the only person older than me was Jim.
Yeah, and only by a year too.
Yeah.
That was Joe, wasn't it?
Was it Joe? No, Joe's 70. Joe didn't come on at the time. He came on a bit later, didn't he? But Joe's 71. He's a year younger than Paul, I think.
I can't remember.
Jim was a year older than me.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm. Because he was born in 58 and I was born in 59.
Tim's lost son. LOL.
Mm.
Wonder what happened to our boy Joe.
Bill, Chin Dynasty's in.
I don't think there's anybody else's, or do you think he's out flying? He could be out flying.
Joe, he said he was going to go and fly his Avata after Johnny's show.
Captain Joe, okay.
Because they were just discussing it in detail on Johnny Drone Flyer this morning. Because
I haven't seen
pick one up.
Adrian Mateo do a live show. He's doing a live right now.
Yeah, he's been doing live game shows.
Well, he was on Johnny's show. I think did he pick up the new Avata as well? Is that why he's doing a live? Because he's out flying it?
Yes.
Said Adrian's live right now?
Yeah.
Like actually on the panel live?
He
He's
says
actually
it says he's doing a live stream.
doing a live while he's out flying.
Actually, not. It's all games.
Is it? All right. He's been watching Justin's channel and thinking, that's a way to get more people in.
That's weird that one of his. Okay, so I'm on his live streams, right? Look at this. Okay, so he's doing SFX multiplayer online rank.
Mm. What the hell's that?
I don't know, but he's got a thumbnail of a fucking drone.
Yeah, that's what it was a thumbnail, but drones all laid out. That's why I clicked.
Oh, he's playing like Street Fighter, like Mortal Kombat type game.
Yep.
Oh, is that what SFX stands for? Street Fighter?
Yeah, I would. That was Street Fighter 6 is what it was.
Captain Joe
Mhm.
just got done with a potty break after Johnny's stream.
It made sense when I saw it, but then when I watched, but then when I was looking at the thumbnail, I was like, what the hell is SF6? And I thought maybe it was a drone game or something. I clicked on it, was, yeah, what's that?
God, Johnny went on for blooming ages if he's only just finished.
Yeah. Well, they both, he and Joe had experience with the Avata 2, you know.
Oh, there was all sorts of people on the panel that had got the Avata 2. They were discussing all sorts of stuff about it. I went on it for about 20 minutes before you started.
Oh wow. Yeah, I saw that, Dusty. Where's my cell phone at?
Morning, Lance.
I don't know, Lance, how long the goggles stay charged on the Avata 2, because I'm not in that ballpark, but
Yeah, I don't know. But you can plug a USB-C lead and a power bank into the goggles and charge them while you're using them, apparently.
well, and Joe says in the chat that he it says it takes 3 hours, but he put it on charge on a 100-watt charge, and he got it charged in an hour.
Mm.
Well, and then too, how dead were the batteries when he did that? Like, did you have an actual percentage? And that will
Well,
give you a good eye.
unless that was from when he actually did
From
it
when
from
he received
you.
it, I think he's only charged them once.
What, the Avata batteries?
The new
No,
Avata.
the goggles.
Oh, the goggles. I would say I know he's charged some batteries more than once because he's been out
No,
flying like crazy.
Yeah.
the new goggles.
I'd imagine they'd have a battery life of like a cell phone. I mean, you're pretty much turning a screen on like a cell phone, so I would assume they would have some kind of
Lance was asking how many flights you get out of the goggles,
I mean,
or
how big is
time
Well,
of
the,
flight.
the goggles don't usually run down as quick as the drone
The regular
batteries.
internal battery, yeah.
Quite often, you don't have to charge them up for a couple of days.
now? Do those goggles have a built-in battery, or do you have to cable a battery like the old goggles?
I think they got it built in. I could be wrong.
I'm not sure whether it's built in or whether it's the same as the Integra, where it's attached to the back of the strap. But it's
I don't
just
know.
like the Integra one. The battery pack's just got 218 650 batteries soldered into it.
Oh yeah, the battery for the goggles is built into the back of the strap.
Now they really need to design those goggles with the battery either removable, like a small little battery pack you can click out, or make a built-in battery. Because tethering a battery off of those goggles, I don't know. Seems like they could do better on that design.
Yeah, I mean it's great having the battery on the back of the strap so that you don't have it dangling loose, but it should have been made interchangeable so that you could swap batteries over
Right,
rather
have you-
than once it's out, you had to put it on charge. But like I said, on this particular one, you can actually fly it from a power bank by plugging the power bank into it instead in the charger lead.
like the thing is like, you've seen like a Tello, right? The little batteries that go in the Tellos.
right?
Like if they design just a small lightweight battery where you could have two or three and switch them out, it wouldn't need to be super heavy because you don't need a battery that runs that thing for 3 hours. You know, hour at a time's or half hour at a time's fine as long as you have
Yeah.
multiple batteries. You can just click it out and change it out real quick. You don't need to put a big ass, bulky, heavy ass battery on it.
No, not really.
I mean, look at the batteries in cell phones.
Mm. Actually, I think the battery in the cell phone weighs more than the rest of the cell phone.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but they're not that heavy of batteries, really, when you look at them. If you
No.
pull them out of a cell phone, they don't weigh anything. But think about how much processing and shit your cell phone's doing for
Mm.
6 hours while you're on it, playing around with it before you have to start charging it again.
Yeah. I mean, while I'm sat here on the sofa, I've got my charger plugged into my phone. So it's permanently on charge. But when you go out and watch it for the day or something like that, you usually can get a full day on on one charge.
Dusty, I don't know about that particular laptop, to be honest with you. Probably not. The only thing you could probably change in that is the RAM, to be honest with you. Because the processor and all that might be actually on the board itself, being a laptop. So
Did he get that laptop off Dan?
no, he got another laptop. One of his
Alright.
buddies is letting him use it, but it's got a Ryzen 3 in it. And it's only got 8 gigs of RAM. It's a little old, but it's enough to where Windows 11 was allowed on it. So
Mm.
he's got a Windows 11 Home on it, so it's not completely outdated. I mean, obviously, because that kind of tells you too, like there's a lot of computers out there, you know, that won't let you go to Windows 11. You can only do Windows 10 on them, but his has a Windows 11 on it. Here, let me
Yeah.
look at this. He sent me a picture of the specs. Hold
I just got an eBay seller offer this morning for that PC that I told you about, the one with the i7, a 1650, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 256 SSD, and a 1 terabyte drive, Wi-Fi, and what's it? And they've reduced it to £349.
So the one he has, it has an AMD Ryzen 3 2200U with Radeon Vega Mobile GFX.
Mm.
It's 8 gigs of RAM. It doesn't say whether it's DDR3 or 4. But I assume it's probably 3 if it's got a Ryzen 3 in there. I'm not sure though. Let me see.
If it's got onboard graphics, is it using part of that 8 gig for the graphics as well?
It says that there's 7.96 usable, so I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know if it has it doesn't say anything about the GPU, so I'm not sure. But like, I think Laura's computer, hers won't even allow Windows 11 on it. Honestly, I don't know, Dusty. The best thing you could do is go download Steam on it and download some free games. You can download Fortnite. You can download like Roblox and just try it and see how it does with those. Because those are going to give you an idea of whether it's gonna be all, if it can run Fortnite, then you're probably pretty good. Fortnite's free. Just go to steam.com, download the Steam launcher, and then go in there and search for Fortnite and download it and try to play it and see what it does.
Hmm.
Here, I'll put the link in the chat for Steam. Let me pull it up real quick.
Hmm.
Yeah, go to.
I don't know, Lance. Scheffler's going to be hard to beat.
What's gonna be hard to beat?
Oh, Scotty Scheffler. He's
Okay.
winning the Masters at 7 under.
Oh,
Lance was saying his money was on Morikawa, who's second at 6 under. Well, they've not started the round yet. They don't start until 19 is 5 is 14. 2:30 your time.
so is this the finals? This is the final round?
Yeah. Mm. There are only tied 9,
Yeah,
Tied
Dusty,
10,
go down.
11, 12.
Dusty,
There are only 12 players under par.
yeah, go download Fortnite and test that out, Dusty, and see how well that does. Yeah. And like Jim said, it does tell you the minimum requirements on each game. But if you may have to down the graphics because you can go into settings on each game and actually lower the graphics settings so the computer doesn't get taxed so much. So you could try that as well. On liftoff, go into the settings and find the graphics settings and see if they're set to like the highest settings. And if they are, just tune them down a little bit.
Well, it'd be a nice bet, Lance, if you'd put it on as an each way bet. So, or a place bet, as you call it, I think. But there's still a lot can happen in 18 holes. I mean,
Yeah,
I wouldn't put it past DeChambeau flying back up again.
Yeah, you can give me a
Only
call on
4
Messenger,
shots.
Dusty. I'll help you out. Like I said, you may have to just dumb the graphics down a little bit in the settings. That might help out with that.
Quiet.
What?
I mean, I reckon Tommy Fleetwood's going to move up the board a bit as well.
I gotta rip my fucking computer apart today and clean it real good. I'm gonna do a deep clean on it. Then I gotta figure out why the fuck it keeps turning off on me because it's starting to piss me off. I'll do that as soon as I get off here. I'm gonna go put that out on the kitchen table and take it apart. Do a nice dusting and cleaning everything out.
ask computer not give me video right now.
You getting an error on when you try to start it?
Not getting the error. It's just telling me it's saying stop video, but it's not showing to me when I tell it to go to my webcam. It's telling me, you want a video? It's muted. It's like stop. Stupid thing. I was just on Johnny's all day with the same freaking thing. Why it ain't working?
Have you tried unplugging the camera and plugging it back in?
Yeah, I might have to.
Sometimes there could just be a little.
Let me try that.
Well, Tiger Woods is level through the first 4 holes, and the amateur he's playing with is 1 over. But I mean, Tiger Woods is tied for 54th place.
Tied for 54th?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, he had a disaster yesterday. He dropped 10 shots yesterday.
I don't think that's a good move, is it?
No, definitely not. I mean, there are 60 players that made the cut, so that's how many people are playing yesterday and today out of the 89 that started. Trouble is with Augusta is they have the cameras on the first tee to show people teeing off, and then they don't have any cameras until about the 9th hole. So you never get to see any of the front 9 being played by anybody. So although they've been playing for about an hour and a half now, you can't actually watch anybody playing. They're just showing people on the practice ground. It's Justin on the phone now.
Yeah, I think so.
No, I'm looking at something.
All right. Have you been watching the series Fallout?
No, I haven't watched that.
No. No, me either.
It's another one of the TV series is based on video game.
Video
Apparently
gamers?
No, it's actually the video game Fallout, the same as the series Halo was based on the game Halo. It's supposed to be quite good, apparently.
Well, guys, what do you think? We think we ought to just shut her down?
Yeah, we
Get-
can.
10 people watching,
Completely up to you, Paul.
and doesn't look like Joe's going to join us. So I'm thinking
Mm.
we'll close it down until tonight. Justin, are you on later today?
No,
Is Laura on?
I have no idea.
I don't
Okay.
think Laura's. I think David said he was coming on, but he didn't know what he was actually going to do.
Okay. Okay, everybody in the chat, thanks for being here. Mark, thanks. Justin, thanks. We'll see all of you again next time.
Okay,